Marna Frida Olsen, animal advocate from the Faroe Islands, currently volunteers as a cove monitor in Taiji, Japan. While she has witnessed the gruesome pilot whale hunts in her home country, it is the first time that Marna is observing the cruel dolphin drive hunts in Taiji. Marna regularly shares her impressions with Ocean Care. Marna, what were the driving factors to volunteer as a cove monitor in Taiji?
The driving factors is definitely my care for animals. I do care about animal welfare, and dolphin drive hunts is something that I have been occupied with for some time now, especially since the pilot whale hunt is happening on Faroe Islands, where I'm from. So it is an issue that I care a lot about, and I've heard many things about the hunts here in Taiji. I've seen the documentary The Cove, obviously, and it made a huge impression on me. So this is a cause I care about deeply, and you could say, okay, if it makes even a small difference, me being here, documenting the hunt and spreading the message, then I'm happy to do so.
Mm-hmm. And could you describe the routine working as a cove monitor on the ground to us at home?
Yeah, the routine. Yeah, it is much a routine actually, because ever since we came here, the dolphin hunters have gone out to sea to find dolphins every single morning. It looks like they don't have any day off. It's only like if the weather is really bad, then they will not go out. So it is. It has been very much a routine. Basically, we get up before 5 in the morning. We'll leave 5:20 or so. We head to Taiji Harbor to see if the boats go out. And a big part of the job here is to get the message out, to inform the public. So we're doing a lot of social media posts and things like that, and writing blogs to you guys, for instance. So to inform, excuse me, to inform people of what's going on. And after the Taiji Harbor, then we go to a vantage point where we can look out to the sea, where the boats go out, and where we can see whether they will come back empty-handed or they will actually drive dolphins, if they find a pod. So, and in case, of course, they find a pod, we will document the hunt. So that's kind of what it's about.
Thank you very much. And how many NGOs or cove monitors are currently on the ground?
We're not many at this moment. Actually, we're only two organizations. Rick O'Berry's Dolphin Project being one of them, and Sea Shepherd the other organization. And we have been two people from Rick O'Berry's Dolphin Project, and there have been two people from Sea Shepherd. So it's not many people observing these hunts and document it.
Yeah, so the more important it is to have you right there at the moment. Yeah. And could you describe how such a drive hunt is carried out and what happens with the dolphins once they are driven into the cove?
Yeah, well, today was a Red Cove day, which means that this morning there was a drive hunt happening. And the way that happened, well, we were at the vantage point, we were enjoying the sunrise, and all of a sudden we noticed some boats gathering, grouping together out at sea. And looking through the binoculars, we could also see the pod of dolphins, and what they do is basically do this drive formation, gathering, putting the boats in a certain formation that will create kind of a wall for the dolphins, and they have these bangers, which is like metal poles that they put in the water, and then they bang the poles with some metal device, which creates this really loud sound in the water. And so it's a huge sound wall actually for the dolphins, which they will automatically just go escape that wall basically. So they, in that way, they drive them into the coast. And when they have reached so far, they will do what they can to get them directly into the killing cove, which is kind of a small cove, but with the help of smaller boats. Like there are 12 hunting boats, and then there are some smaller skiffs helping out there in the hunt. And they will drive them into the cove and seal off the cove with nets. Like, so there will be an outer net, and then when the dolphins are in there, they will put on yet another net and like drive them further into the cove. And finally, they will be so far in that they will like do whatever is necessary, pull them, push them into the killing zone, the killing area, which is basically covered with tarp, so we cannot see much what's going on under the tarp, but that's where they will be killed. And they will be killed with so-called pithing rods, which they supposedly stab into the spinal cord. But as far as we know, it's a very long killing process. So the animals are really suffering in this way.
Mm-hmm. And in order to better understand the context within which these drive hunts are happening, could you maybe explain the behavior and attitudes of the following people? So for the first instance, the police, the fishermen and the hunters, the trainers and the locals?
Yeah, the attitude. Yeah, I would say we're quite a lot in touch with the police, actually, here, the local police. They are really following us around and looking at what we're doing. But they're also really here to protect us, so they just don't want any trouble. So we're on good terms with the police. I don't know what their personal views are towards the dolphin hunt. That's hard to say, but some of them, I think they seem pretty neutral about things, basically just doing a good professional job. When it comes to the fishermen, well, I haven't actually met a fisherman. I haven't met a dolphin hunter here. So it's hard to say what their attitude is. Obviously, something that's very clear is that they don't consider animals' welfare. You know, the hunts are quite brutal, and it takes a long time to drive these animals in. It takes a long time to kill them. And it's obvious that animal welfare is not something that comes first. It's not really a priority for them, because I believe that they would do things a bit differently, you know. So I would say the attitude is of course, yeah, these animals, it's okay to kill them. We want their meat, or we want to sell them to dolphinarians, and that's okay. And they don't feel like connected to the animals. And the locals, it's hard to say. What we have heard by being here, what I have come to understand is that the dolphin meat is being eaten here locally. It's not a part of the general Japanese food culture, but in this area, it is being eaten, and people like the meat still, even though the demand of the meat has decreased a lot during the years. It is something that people are still happily buying and eating. So in that way, they are supportive of these hunts. But again, there are very few local people that I've actually spoken with. I have met one person from Taiji who is against these hunts. So that was really a positive experience. Yeah, and then the trainers, well, same thing there. We can observe from a distance, but I haven't actually spoken with the trainer yet.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for this insight. And how many dolphins have been killed for their meat since beginning of the dolphin drive hunt season, starting on the 1st of September? And how many have been captured alive for the dolphinary industry?
Yeah, it's about 120 dolphins by now, including the hunt today. The very most of them have been Risso's dolphins, and today they were striped dolphins. So this was the first hunt so far with striped dolphins. And there was one catch of bottlenose dolphins where none of them were killed. There were 80 in one pod where 50 were captured alive and 30 were driven back out to sea.
Thank you. And these dolphins captured for the dolphinaria industry. I mean, what's your educated guess where these show stars, the future show stars, will be sold to?
Well, as far as I know, it's hard to say where they will go because I don't have that insight. But most of the dolphins will be sold to Japanese dolphinariums. I think over 50% of these dolphins will be sold to Japanese dolphinariums, and a foreign customer, the biggest foreign customer is China, and then some dolphins will also be sold to some Arab countries and Ukraine, amongst others.
Mhm. And what was your personal worst experience you have made during this mission in Taiji? And a second part to that question, what was this worse than what you witnessed during the grind in your home country?
Yeah. First thing, okay, I've actually not witnessed a pilot whale hunt, a Grindadrap, on the Faroe Islands, simply because I've never actually wanted to. I have seen pictures, I have seen dead pilot whales, I have seen videos. I haven't felt like going down to a bay and actually witness the whole thing. I am a sensitive person. You can ask me, okay, what am I actually doing here then, witnessing these hunts? But somehow something drove me here, and now I am here. So I could say that I've actually not witnessed a Grindadrap myself, but I know exactly what's going on and I've seen enough. What the worst thing is experienced here, I think, well, all of the hunts have been horrible to witness. Something that really made an impression on me is to see, that was the second hunt where some rhesus dolphins were really struggling to escape through the nets, and I could see how one dolphin was swimming like smashing against the rocks, and that looked very dramatic. I know they do this out of confusion, and it can even be out of despair, and that was really horrible to watch. Just how much these animals really, really struggle to survive, and how there's no way out, you know. And these men also, it's also something that's difficult to witness, that these human beings are not connected to the animals, that they don't feel compassion for these animals. I think that that's something that really, really saddens me, and I can only hope that someday that they will see like what beautiful animals they are, and just stop killing them.
Yeah. Yeah. And is there any connection between the Faroese grind and the dolphin drive hunt in Taiji? And how do these two hunts differ?
The connection. Well, I know there has been some sort of exchange between the Faroe Islands and Taiji, some exchange between the dolphin hunters. And as far as I know, some Japanese have been on the Faroes to witness the grind and learn from the Faroese. I don't know if it has also gone the other way around, but so there has been some exchange of killing methods and things like that. So in that way, there is a connection, and of course, one connection is that the hunts are quite similar, you know, in some ways. The motivation behind them are different. The history is different and everything. Like on the Faroes, they have been hunting pilot whales for over 1,000 years, and it has been in order to survive. It has been for the meat and the blubber, pretty much only for the meat and the blubber. And here it is a bit different. The primary motivation is the dolphinarium industry, the captivity industry, but also the meat. So there are similarities there. Definitely, both hunts are extremely brutal. And here in Taiji, the hunts used to be like literally Red Cove days with lots of blood spilled, you know, and a horrible sight in that way. But since all the attention has come to Taiji, then they have done what they can to cover up, you know, cover up the killing, and actually they don't bleed the dolphins anymore, so there will not be spilled as much blood in the water. And as far as I know, they stab the the animals, and they actually pluck the wounds so they will not bleed as much. So that's different from the Faroes. This on the Faroe Islands, it just happens openly. It's an open slaughterhouse, and people are not embarrassed by that or anything. It is this kind of, some would call it like some kind of connection to the natural environment, and they're just using a local food source, and it's the most natural thing to do.
Mm-hmm. And is there a current development that worries you on the ground in Taiji?
Here in Taiji,
Mm-hmm.
well, besides it being really frustrating, actually, standing up on that hill, and it's very limiting how much I can actually see and document, because there's so many restrictions, and the killing zone has been covered up, and even when they transport the dead bodies to the harbor, to the slaughterhouse, they cover them with tarps. It's really a cover up, and and that, I don't know, that's something that concerns me a little bit. Other than that, I can't say much. It's my first time here, so.
Yeah, no, thank you. And on the weekend, there will be a whale festival in Taiji. It is expected that nationalists will take this opportunity to demonstrate against activists like you and NGOs working on the ground. How do you plan to prepare and proceed in light of this looming threat?
Well, definitely that's going to be a new experience for me. Hopefully it will not be as bad as it might be expected or imagined, but it's going to be interesting, definitely. We want to stay safe, definitely stay safe, and be careful and keep our distance to the festival itself. So it's like really not have logos around, not wear T-shirts and stuff like that. That really could provoke somebody to be aggressive towards us. So in that way, it's something we are thinking about, to stay safe first and foremost. And then see how things go. We don't know how many of these nationalists will actually come to Taiji, and we don't know how it's going to be. So we just kind of drive around, and see how things will be and take it from there.
Yeah. And as a last question, what is your personal message?
My personal message to people out there, definitely, well, don't buy a ticket to a dolphin show. You never know where these dolphins come from, and most likely these dolphins are not coming from a good place, in the way that they have been captured. They have been separated from their pods, and they live in captivity. This is just not right for a marine animal, and so that's definitely one message I have. And consider the animals, and support organizations who work for dolphins and other animals. That's something I can recommend.
Well, thank you so very much, Marna, for all the efforts you make in order to give the dolphins a voice. Actually, thanks to you monitoring the unbearable, the cruelty will not go unseen. And it's a great chance for the dolphin hunters to change their way of thinking because of people like you. Thank you so much.